So, talking about beginning your career, the shop touched about internships. I know you've been with NRA for a while now.
Yeah.
But how difficult was it for you to get an internship right after graduating?
Look, I mean, when me and my friends, you've met all of them, we graduated, we all used to, as soon as they finished our exams, I think there was a week where we just went out and did everything, right?
Yeah.
Before all of our other friends leave for their respective countries. So we did that, and then we were like, okay, look, we need to sit down and start applying. And we think the market back in 2017 was not that great. There was a slump. The economy was slowing. And I think by 2019, it really reached its peak. Then COVID happened, and thank God everything got fixed in a sense.
That's not say thank God.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
I'll come to it.
Context.
I'll context in the sense like, look, things really changed, right?
Yeah.
Revamp, remote working, dinosaurs being kicked out of
that
the
way,
world,
thank God. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
More fresh blood coming up the chain, more vacancies opening up, business booming. Anyways, there's a lot of people who really struggled during COVID, and I'm not taking that away from them, definitely. But in a sense, like it could have just gone or gotten worse for everyone. Anyway, coming back to point. So we all decided to like start applying, and every day we were staying over at friend's place. Every day, 7, 8, 9 a.m. we would wake up, and till 6, 7 p.m. we were applying anything that would come up on LinkedIn, Indeed. It was like that, right? And for me, it was we were not getting any responses, not even rejection, right?
Yeah.
It's like thank you for applying, but
Oh yeah, that's one
nothing.
major thing. Like they should at least mail you.
I
and
think
tell you that,
anyone who sees this in HR,
Yes,
I do
yes,
understand that you guys get thousands of applications, but if you're selecting a certain, maybe there's something, a software that you select a certain person and all the other series in the pool get a rejection email automatic.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Or maybe make a template. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anywho, or mass send out the email. Who cares? At least give me some closure.
So that I can move on.
At least, I mean, you get closure, and it doesn't take your brain space, and you don't you don't feel bad like maybe I was messed up or whatnot. So yeah, I'm still deviating. So nothing was happening, and then so we were staying in university accommodations. We still had a contract with them up till June 30th, and I remember that I was like, okay, I started to work in my university's admissions team for the new intake, and I was like, look, money coming in is great, and I can at least go and eat without having to spend my parents' money. And I was doing that, and I remember being really sick at work that day, and I was working, and I was like, got a LinkedIn message. Hey, are you still looking for an internship or an opportunity? And I'm like, yes. He's like, great. Can you send me your CV? Yes. Here you go. He's like, an hour later, perfect. Can you show up for an interview tomorrow? And I'm like, yes. And I was sick.
Yeah.
I was really sick. Like to the point where I was thinking of taking the next day off from work or my university admissions at that point of time. And my supervisor or like, when we work with university admissions, you work with these recruiters or whatnot. One of those lady, she was really nice. I will not mention her name. Just see. Her name is Nasuda, and she was the most sweetest person I've ever met in my life. I told her, look, this happened. Can I take off tomorrow? She's like, yeah, go for it. Best of luck. She was so encouraging. I go to the interview the next day. Thankfully, it was in the later afternoon.
Yeah.
And my first boss, who I wouldn't know be my first boss, was there. Very, very joyful guy. And the interview with him. And he's like, perfect. So tomorrow's working, but I see you are extremely sick. So see you on Sunday. I think Sunday was still, I'm like, yes, see you on Sunday. And then I was really shocked because I had a week left, who pack up everything from the accommodation and move back. Me and my dad were discussing flight tickets or if we should stay here for a little longer to look for a job or something. And then this happened, and my dad's like, perfect, there's the answer. But I was ready to go. Like everything was packed for me to just discuss with my parents what's the next step that we should look on and move. But then this happened. So then I found a different place to stay, found a job, or like continued with my internship. And I told them, look, the idea behind this is that I would be pursuing a master's degree. So come September, I might still be here in this country if I get accepted in my university or universities here, or I might be moving. They're like, no problem. Let's see where this goes. And then I did my master's in renewable with the same university, Harriet.
That's right. Universities are fun.
The university, maybe they should sponsor you guys as well.
Yeah. Yes. Please do.
I don't know. Anywho, and then in September I started my further studies, and it was one of the most effective experiences of my life.
So you did your master's with your job?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And how was that experience?
Oh goodness. It was.
I'll tell you from background, because I used to go at evening time. I'll just see this guy at the library every day, just sitting there and studying.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy does not have a life.
I did not have a life. I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
So to give you for some perspective, right? Master's thankfully was in the evening.
I'm sorry, Anshul. So in your job, you're still an intern while you were doing your master's, or you had your permanent job?
No. So I became a part-time by then. By October, I would say October, November.
So now you're doing a part-time job with the company, and then you're pursuing your master's.
A full-time master. So
a full-time master's. Okay.
So what happens? So full-time means in British universities it gets over in 18 months with dissertation and thesis and then graduation. Part-time would mean that it would go to 2 years.
Right.
So British university masters are.
That's 1.5 year, 1.5 years.
Yeah, 18 months.
18
right?
months.
So you have 12 years of studies and research,
Yes.
and then 6 months for dissertation, and then you have your assignments and exams in the middle, all across, and then if you do have the or get the grades to get a full degree or whatnot, you get to graduate.
Right.
This is in full time.
Right.
In part time, the same thing, but instead of 18 months or 1 year, it becomes 2.5 years or 2 years.
Right.
So 2 years of studying plus 6 months of dissertation, and then if you met the criteria to pass or the grades, then
so what was your schedule like? Office timings, and then when would you go to university?
So office would start at 9:30. We would be there, finish by 6:30. 7 o'clock classes start.
So 9:30 to 6:30 evening is your office.
His office. Yeah. 7 p.m. to 10. Yes, 3 hours. We would have classes. Sometimes they would go up to 10:30, but normally the professors who would be teaching us were either visiting faculty or they were professors who would be teaching in daytime as well. So no one wanted to stay late, to be honest. So they would by 10:30 we would finish, and then the library back then, if I remember, was open till 1.
Yeah.
1 in the morning.
Yeah. So previous, I mean, in my time in Harriet, how things started was by 12 the campus would close. Everyone who's not a student or living on campus needs to leave. But then things started to change. They made it much more flexible for everyone. So by the time because then we started to live off campus, I became off campus student. So library would be open till 1. Then I would stay in the library till 1, study, get things done, and then when 1 o'clock leave, find something to eat, and then sleep, and then repeat the whole thing. And in the middle, try to figure out things to function as a human being, right? Laundry, calling parents, meeting friends, some way of the other. And then so the classes were 7 days a week. Because it is a master's degree. Over the weekends, the classes would be from 9 a.m. till 12.
Right.
Right. And it was very grueling, honestly. It was, like I was exhausted. In the middle, I told my dad, look, I'm done. I cannot do this. It's not sustainable. I'm dying. Look, I need some, let me make it part-time. Only like, I have this option. He's like, look, you're halfway done. Just find it in yourself and finish it. Like, don't break this. And I think, again, that was a really good advice because I got done on time with fairly good grades. Yeah. I remember work took me to very, very crazy places in the middle of my degree. I remember being in the middle of the desert in Habshan, and that's in Abu Dhabi. So Abu Dhabi from here is 1.5 hours. And then you cross the city or whatever. And then from Abu Dhabi city to Habshan is 4 hours. So 5.5 hours away from home, I'm at a not a construction, but the site, and I'm working there, right? And then I have a submission a week later and the whole week I'm on site that I have to work for. And then we start at 7, we finish by 6 to eat, and then you're working in the sun for so long, you're dead. Right? And I had a submission, and I think because of that work, that 1 week, I got the lowest grade in that module. Anyways,
but you passed.
But so only blemish on my perfect record was that stupid module.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but I guess you learn a lot of things in such situations, like how to manage pressure. Yes,
you find yourself. Honestly, you find yourself. It's like adversity brings out your true nature.
You're right.
And that was the adversity I was going through.
Yeah. And if in future you would be in a similar situation, now you know that I have dealt with this before. I will deal with it.
So funnily enough, you mentioned that. Like, I finished my master's. As soon as I finished my final exam, submitted the dissertation. But I was like, okay, Saad, how about a PhD? I'm like, don't you dare talk to me about studies for the next 2-3 years. How dare you? You don't know what I've been through.
but hard work paid off, right? You're in a good place.
Yeah. So as soon as I graduated, my company offered me a full-time position, thankfully. So first it was internship unpaid, then it became part-time paid. It was enough to get by. At least my living expenses were taken care of. I wouldn't have to become a burden to my parents. And, after you become a certain age, you really don't want to be independent in every aspect. So that really helped. And then after becoming full-time, completely, thankfully, alhamdulillah, it turned out great. And then, so if I look at it since I started, I've been with my organization for 6 years, 6.5 years. It's amazing. I never thought I would stick out for that long. I mean, a lot of patience, hard work, and I would say motivation and understanding came through my colleagues, right? My existing boss, my existing team leader, my previous bosses, my company CEO, everyone, like where I am now is all, all because of their patience, understanding, and their support to me. You tend to forget this. I went through a lot of hard things, but how their attitude was allowed me to endure that. Right?
Yes.
That if so they have as much as a role on me being successful and where I am as my own hard work. So we tend to forget the people around us, because that's how humans are. We're very self-centered. But I would really say that these guys,
I think that's what happens when you get a really good environment, even if some workplace. And clearly you stick out there for like over 6 years now.
Yeah.
Because of the people around you and the company.
Absolutely. It's my first job ever,
Oh, in 6 years. You have been with them for 6 years.
Yeah. Before that, just internships in every place, 2-3 months. But, but with them, the environment that they had cultivated and they have cultivated, it's very energetic, electrifying, I would say. It's transparent. It is, I would say, like when I see my colleagues leave, I've never seen anyone leave like being happy that they're going. Everyone is just sad, because they know for a fact that they will not get this anywhere else.
Okay, that's the way they are. Right.
Because they know they are. They're just sad, like, yes, we have to move on with their careers and our lives, but they're sad because of the fact that they had such an amazing time in this organization. And, the friendships they've made, the things that they've experienced, it's just that. And no one ended on a bad, as far as I recall, again, no one ended on a bad note with the management.
Do you think you can stick by a company for 6 years and a half?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Yeah, I probably can't, looking at my record.
I mean, look, there were times in the middle, right? Like where I was like, look, I think I need to move, because sometimes the tasks become very mundane or repetitive, and you see that the career progression is stagnating. Even though the money is good, but the career, you would preferably want to change an environment to move up the ladder. But thankfully, with my organization and myself, and
It didn't happen.
yeah, things progress like gradually
Yeah.
and naturally, organically.
Yes.
So
yes.
it was. I'm really thankful.
I think
Alhamdulillah.
if you want me to answer, I think that's how I would also
Yeah.
reply. Like, if things become stagnant, then I think it's better to move
Yeah.
rather than just stay there.
True.
If you don't have the opportunity to grow. But if you are growing in the same organization and if the pay is well and everything is, then why do you have to?
Yeah, I mean, look,
Yeah.
I've spoken to a lot of people who, my people in my family and all across. They're like, look, people tend to stay in a company for long if they think or they want to move to a CTO position or some C-level executive within the organization. And if they see that happening, then it's worthwhile staying.
Right.
But if you don't see that happening or you don't have ambitions for that, and after a certain time, if you feel you're stagnating, move. And it really does help. Like, typically you would move for a bump in position and remuneration, right?
So, we spoke about your journey at work, spoke about your education. What is next for Saad? Clearly not a PhD. So, but what is it? You can stay here and go somewhere else, or you just, maybe back to Saudi, or maybe somewhere else. What is the plan?
I mean, look, if anyone, again, I'm not saying I'm going back to Saudi. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I mean, there is clearly an incentive. My parents are there. I won't have to pay rent. Everything's taken care of.
Right.
You're
not paying rent, so it's basically the company.
No, over there.
Over there. Okay.
Right, so all my income would become my disposable income.
Yeah.
And
Right.
having to be divided into such. And again, right now, if for everyone who sees this, right now is the time to be in Saudi, right?
Yes.
Then make the big bucks. If you like it, stay. If you don't like it, leave after some time. Right now, Saudi is really developing.
Booming.
Right?
Plus, when it comes to core subjects, I think there's a big demand.
Yeah, specifically for engineers, right?
Yeah.
Of all sorts.
Yeah.
It is the place to be, right? So for me, look, there's a lot of things that I plan on or I'm cooking, I would say. One of them that you were discussing before was GMAT, right?
Right.
I have a plan.
Sorry, MBA.
Yes.
For MBA.
For MBA, yes, I was coming to. I have a plan to to get into an MBA stream or business related degree that would help cultivate my career, right? How that happens, when that happens, I don't have a definitive timeline.
Right.
Or I have a targeted timeline, but that is a target. Can't be pushed. God knows what if there's a curveball that has to be pushed,
And what if you get an opportunity working here and pursuing your MBA at the same time? Because I see a lot of people working in Dubai and then pursuing their MBA. And it's not just inside UAE, because yes, we have some great colleges for MBA in Abu Dhabi and Dubai as well. One of them being in Saad. And people, if they don't find anything over here, they definitely pursue their MBA from somewhere in Europe, but they're still working here.
Correct.
Right? Would you opt for something like that?
Yeah. So, I mean, the second option where you said that, people who are studying because of COVID, there's remote studies and whatnot.
Yes.
It has allowed them to pursue degrees in Europe where they would go for a few weeks over there and for the core subjects where they need to be in attendance.
Yes.
And then come back. Look, I personally wouldn't do that. It just is, again, my personal preference. Things change. I know 2 people who have done that from very prestigious universities and they're doing very well. I wouldn't do that because life as it is here is very, very, very chaotic and very busy for me. And then you add an MBA to it, which is chaotic on its own. Not chaotic, but very
You've
intense.
already dealt with it. I've done it.
I've done a technical master's, yes, but MBA is again, I'm not from a business background, right? All my schooling was in and core subjects were in science. So you need to understand that for me, it would be building from the base up, in a sense, and then having the schedule and the very, very, very tough schedule of including an MBA that requires me to travel there and come back and giving that the proper time, while having a full-time job that is also very, very demanding. It's just going to be chaos, right? I will neither be there nor here. I'll be like a clown, basically, right? So the idea would be to quit work for some time, for however long it takes.
Yeah.
Complete this, dedicate yourself to this, and then wherever employment takes me, or maybe I start up something on my own. Who knows, right? Like, you don't do an MBA just to go back to the 9 to 5. Yeah, right.
And you spoke about people who have done their MBA course along with their jobs and they're doing pretty well. Can you give a short, because just for the viewers, just to get an idea.
So an ex-colleague of mine, she did it from LBS, London Business School.
Right. Actually, that's a great call.
Yeah,
that's a great university.
Amazing. It's one of the top ones, and one of the ones I'm looking at as well.
Yeah.
And she's doing really well. It was, again, I cannot speak on her behalf, but I can imagine how difficult it was for her.
Right.
And another one is doing it from a French university. I forget its name. When it's also one of the top ones in Europe.
HEC Paris?
Yes, there we go. HEC Paris, yes.
Yeah.
And
I still got my MBA.
Amazing.
I wanted to pursue MBA. Like, I have got
much better than what I remember, even though I'm looking at it right now, honestly. So he did it from HEC Paris, and he just recently graduated.
By the way, even HEC Paris is like a crazy.
It's amazing.
It's an amazing institute.
And this gentleman, I asked him, like, how is it? And he's like, it's very hectic to accommodate work plus this, because you need to put, and then he's also married. And
oh my God, that must be really hard.
Yeah, and kudos to his wife for really being the support structure for him in this sense, and because he has to take all these three together. So yeah, I mean, look, for me, as maybe I don't know, maybe I will pursue that one. I don't see it, but who knows?
Yeah.
Or maybe I would just completely leave work for some time and then dedicate myself to an MBA or another degree and then come back.
And both of them give their GMAT?
So in LBS, you don't need GMAT.
Okay.
In British universities, you don't need that. There is something different. They normally check your equivalency, if I remember, or your previous degree, your work experience, and essays and whatnot.
Oh, okay. Right? So you don't need a GMAT.
So GMAT is specific to the American universities and Canadian. GMAT, GRE, SPTs.
But I think HEC Paris needs GMAT.
HEC Paris, as far as I recall, no.
No. Okay.
But maybe they have changed or whatnot. But.
And we are talking about not the 2-year MBA program. We are talking about the what do you call it? Executive MBA program.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Right. For me, it doesn't necessarily have to be an MBA. It can be something in sustainability or ESGs or something like that, because that's again my core. Right. Renewables. So something that integrates well with this, with my experience and everything, and can elevate me later on as well. So yeah, that is one thing. And then look, particularly if once you move out from here, yes, I would love to come back, but I think I have had 28 years of the GCC environment. Right. I've literally jumped from one desert to the other in a manner of geographically speaking. I would like to experience some different environment. I would like to see all the 4 seasons happening. So maybe, who knows?
Okay, so I'm gonna try to wrap it up because it's been so long.
Yes.
Few important questions which we normally ask our guests is about what would your advice be to the up and coming engineers if they don't have a job or what they're doing or the mindset they should have?
I mean, look,
yeah.
You need to understand that the 10 years, it's been 10 years, 10 years, 7, 8 years, right? Since we
Yeah.
You graduated around about, and the world is a lot different than it was back then, right? But of course, the fundamentals remain the same, right? Hard work and your attitude, I would say, your attitude towards things really, really dictate how well you would do in life. And this is speaking from experience and looking at a lot of people, right?
What do you mean by attitude towards things?
So the attitude that I had when I came here and when I started my journey was to not say no, experience everything, regardless of, unless it's, someone's asking you to take into part of be a criminal or whatnot. Of course not, right? So be logical about it. Be logical about it, but be open to experiences. You don't know what you might learn from it. So the attitude, the upbeat attitude, and the can-do attitude, and not saying no, I'd say that would be the prime that I would say that the new people should have, or new aspiring whoever, right? In whatever
field. It's not just for engineers, it's for everyone,
right?
Yeah.
I've seen people, like, I will not name names and I will not tell them, but I've seen people like when they did come to our organization and I told them, I need your help with something.
Yeah.
Can you take care of this? And the task is given. And then at the end of the day, ask, okay, how's the progress looking? What do you need help? And he's like, oh man, I don't have a mouse.
They don't have
a mouse.
How?
A mouse to do some specific drawings. And I'm like, man, okay, no problem. Ask the IT, they can give you a mouse and check.
These are interns or fresh graduates. Okay.
This is not recent. I'm talking about 2017,
okay.
2019.
Right.
Just in case anyone sees this and this is not recent, right? And I'm like, okay, ask IT, ask this, ask that, check with someone. They might have a spare. They did not have it. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, buy one, expense it to the company. What's so difficult in that? Or bring one from home. Right? Why should this small thing not allow you to finish your tasks?
Yeah.
Or show us what you're good at? Right? And okay, this was one day of it. And then the same thing keep happening. And I'm like, it's just frustrating. Look, I mean, this is where the attitude comes in. Like, you have an obstacle, you can either remain there, stuck, or you can find ways to get around it or overcome it, right? Your attitude matters. That individual did not want to do it. And it is a very fundamental part of our job. If you cannot, how you say, if you cannot walk, you cannot run. Yeah, he couldn't walk. So, so that being said, your attitude matters. Like, I'm pretty sure myself, all of you guys, and some of the people who might see this might have been put into situations where they don't know how we say ABC of things, right? That they're given a task, but they figure it out.
Yes.
It's all right to panic. It's all right to feel lost.
Fail at times too.
Yeah, and it's okay to fail as well, by the way. And it's all right to panic, all right to be like, oh my God, what do I do? And get anxious.
Yeah.
But then, and that is human nature, right? You become anxious, you panic, and then you figure out the solution. So that is key aspect, right? I've had days where I was like, oh my God, what the heck?
Or you just ask your seniors, like, I don't know how to do it. Can you please tell me how can I do it?
Absolutely. Look, so one of the key things that my organization that everyone does is like, no one holds your hand and teaches you things.
Yes.
Everyone, including myself and everyone I know who's either with the organization or has left and are in other places doing really well, had been thrown into the deep end and I've been told, figure it out. Right? And then we are in an information era. Everything is in a Google's click away. Or it will at least show you or give you a semblance of an idea of what to do. Right? So, and this is where people fail. Yeah. This is where people fail. Like, once you have exhausted all the resources, then you can go and say, look, senior or whoever boss, can you help me? And because the next thing they will ask you, did you look into this? And if you don't have an idea or you say no, they will tell you, but then you will get stuck on the next step and you will come back, and then they will figure out, any smart person would figure out that, he needs to be spoon fed or she needs to be spoon fed. And then it becomes, they're like, two things can happen. Either we keep spoon feeding him and bring him up to there, or we let him go, because clearly he or she is not taking the initiative.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I personally say that I too would have had these places where I'm stuck and I've been spoon fed. And I, to be honest, in some places that was the case. Some places you don't. You figure things out.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
On how to deal with clients where you don't have access to these individuals, right? So attitude defines everything. So I think and then people say work hard or work smart. Some people are smart, they're able to figure it out. Some people get there with hard work.
Yes,
even if you bang your head against a wall, it will break at some point.
Oh, wow, that's so crazy now.
No, take it with a pinch of salt. But you get what I mean, right?
But some people are not smart enough, and they have to agree that if they have to grow up the ladder, it's their hard work which will take them there. But you should not cry about it, or you should
not give up.
You should not give up about it.
So attitude, perseverance.
Yes.
Either with your intellect or with your brute force, or you need these two things that I would say are the recipe for success. And then look, failing is part of learning.
Yeah.
Right? You fail, you learn. That's it. I mean, simple as that. It's okay to fail.
This was something which you said after applying for a job, but like somebody who's like applying for the job, going for interviews, right? And how would you define it over there, like specifically for engineers? Because I guess a lot of engineers might be expecting something, but when it comes to the interview, for example, let's take a civil engineer. He might be expecting a salary of like 20K, 25K at the starting of his first job, but then they would be offering him like, what, we're going to just offer you like 5K, but with accommodation and food and this and that and whatsoever, right? How do you like? And definitely there are some people who would have no choice but to say yes, because then they need a job.
Yeah.
They need a job. And there are some people, no way, I'm going to work for 5 years.
Yeah. So look, as long as it is hard work, and it is your first job, you shouldn't say no to opportunities unless it seems very sketchy, right? This is my attitude towards it. People who disagree and say the latter, that look, I am of a certain education background or lifestyle background, I will not accept anything below this. Life has a way of humbling you really quick in that regard, right? Very simply as that. And again, this is coming to the point. This is after you've secured an interview and a job offer, right?
Right.
And getting there is also very tricky. So look, if a person who is applying fresh graduate and a certain organization doesn't know their pay structure, or that is where he failed. Like I said, we're in an information age. Everything is available on your fingertips. These two devices that I'm holding, you can access everything from it.
True.
Yes.
Right? So that's on him.
Yes.
Or her.
Yeah.
Let's be inclusive. It's 2023.
So the moral of the story is, don't say no.
Don't say no.
Experience.
Yes. I think what we try to get to the point is like that. Like, I feel like you're in a very good position. Like, let's say you are at an interview, you're conducting someone's interview. What are you looking at to be in your team? You're like, okay, this guy has this. Maybe he doesn't have the experience of the internship. Maybe it's his first. But besides the attitude, like, as an engineering aspect, what are you looking at?
Look, in just off the interview, it's alone, and I have done some. It's very difficult. Or maybe I'm just bad at it. It's very difficult to gauge the person sitting in front of you on how well they might do. It's only after you get to work with them for some time that you would figure out, okay, what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. And then it's up to you if you want to cultivate their strengths or their weaknesses. You want to make sure that they're not weak in that aspect, and how you use them. It comes with experience. It definitely comes with experience, your mindset, and how much brain space you can allocate to it to think objectively and devise a plan. So it's very difficult. Look, people will outsmart an interview and get the position.
Yeah.
But and they themselves will notice that yes, we were smart enough to get the job, but maybe not smart enough to continue at the job. And then this is where the 2-3 things I mentioned earlier come into play. I think for someone who just graduated and is getting into the industry, don't say no. Be punctual, be hardworking, be energetic, right? Know what you're going into. Ask smart questions.
Yeah.
Be aware.
Be aware.
Yeah.
Right. We coming from a very carefree environment while in university and going into professional setting. Treat it as such, So there are some ethics and professionalism you need to show. You cannot just go in and go out there.
Yes, but you cannot blame them. Like, anybody who passes out from university, it's happened with all of us. You all have to agree. Like, we think that we are going to conquer this world.
And you should keep that.
Yes, we think that. And we go with that energy to our job as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You can show the same energy in a professional manner. You can have the same attitude in a professional manner. You're not going to your friend's apartment and sitting in his living room and doing the job, right? You're sitting around people who are maybe 3 times your age.
Yeah.
Yes.
With maybe more experience than the time you've been alive, right?
Right.
And they come with certain standing.
Yeah.
Right. So have the attitude, like you said, conquer the world, never leave it. Yes, you can.
Yes.
However, be humble enough.
Be humble. Yeah.
Right?
Be humble.
Let your work and your actions do the talking as opposed to you just being a mouthpiece and showing zero work. So I think the ethics and professionalism are key.
Yeah. So kids' attitude, perseverance, important. Fix one question which came to my mind right now is you spoke about a guy who didn't have a mouse and couldn't do their job. Living in an era of digital transformation, technology, AI, do you see AI affecting your workplace?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, okay.
100%.
Explain to us, please.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
I just started using AI quite late, so people have been doing it for a while, and this was also on the insistence of my friends. They're like, if you're not using it, you're missing out.
Yeah.
I'm like, fair enough, makes a lot of sense. Let's do that. And particularly I use it. So in terms of design, and so my work includes financial modeling, design, presentations and whatnot. In terms of all of that, I don't use AI. Maybe because I don't know the right platforms or because I haven't explored them. Or they might not be available. Who knows, right? I need to look into it. But in terms of mundane tasks, right, writing out an email or filling out getting some words into a presentation.
Right.
Really don't want to think.
Yes.
You really don't have the brain
When
space
the
to think.
capacity is like reached and you cannot.
So you just ask ChatGPT, hello, my friend, can you just do this? And I don't copy it verbatim, right? I take inspiration from it.
Yes, you cannot. Yeah.
I mean, you can copy it verbatim.
But it does not. That like you have to make some changes even after you.
Yeah. So I copy it and I take inspiration from it, but then I add a personal touch to it.
Yes.
Right. So that at least I learn from it, or what I'm trying to say gets across properly. And that I think has made my life somewhat easier in terms of maybe sending out some hard emails, but trying not to be too long or too harsh.
Yeah. When I use ChatGPT, by the way, during emails, like when I'm extremely annoyed at someone because they have not done the task, and I know that I cannot be rude to them over email.
Absolutely.
So and I know it, and I have to send that email right now to them, right?
Yeah.
So I just go to ChatGPT. I tell them how to explain it to them
in a firm but concise way, without hurting sentiments,
without being rude. Yeah, and then it gives you a body and a structure.
Yeah. So same thing, right? I've done the same. I'm like, this is where it really comes in. Do you see that it explains really well, it writes out really well, and then you add a personal touch, modify it here and there, and then you send it. And the responses that I've seen are really great things to get done.
Yeah. From having good conversation, good input on how using AI, and I hope you start using as a design tool too. You might help you out.
Okay. Look, technical designs, I don't think AI has reached there. There's some, maybe in graphic design and all of that, yes.
Yeah.
I just need to look at it hard enough or find what are those AI tools that I can.
So, last question before we wrap it up. This is $1 million question we ask now.
Okay, cool.
To you, what does success mean? And do you think you have achieved it? Are you close to it? Or where do you stand? In your own words.
I mean, success means differently to a lot of people.
I want to know your perspective.
Yes, in my perspective, success would mean that you're happy and content. Or I wouldn't say be content, but happy.
Yeah.
Happiness is, for me, is success, right? How you're happy, if you're happy in a 5K job or 50K, that is a personal preference, right? Of course, that each of those brings their own sort of benefits and disadvantages. So I would say, as long as you're happy, right? And you see yourself making a difference, not just in your own life, but others, wherever you meet, right? That is, I would say, success. Right? Money comes and goes.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. So success, tomorrow's concluded success means happy. Being happy.
For me, yes. For me, money comes and goes, right? And it is true. You've seen people being
extremely rich and
their highs, right? It doesn't have to be rich in anything, but high in a very influential position. And they might be the most miserable people in their life, in existence. And then you see people who are maybe, blue collar workers and you meet them and you see that they are happy and content and they're full of energy and life. I think that really matters.
Yeah. Well, that's a good, simple, short answer.
Yeah. And like all the other answers that I've given so far.
But do you have anything else to ask him?
No, I don't have anything.
I think, Saad, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having
Very
me.
informative podcast. Love the idea of seeing how you grew up and, in terms of schooling, university.
Yeah.
And inshallah, you'll make more, maybe a business, who knows, maybe it'll be working for you.
Inshallah.
And to all the newcomers graduating, attitude, perseverance, professionalism matters. So we'll put his LinkedIn in our description. If you want to hit on him. Go ahead, ask him for anything to do with renewable energy, do with that. But thank you for coming and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you.